Hi, and welcome to another episode of It's About to Get Weird with This Drink. I'm all out of soda
In
in
5D?
5D.
So what are
So
you drinking?
here's what I have I have Malibu pineapple rum,
Okay.
Red Bull,
Okay.
a smidge of this diet soda thing. It's like the one where you use the little liquid and you throw it into your bubbly water.
Oh, like a Soda Stream plus Mio.
Yeah, basically that, but it's 0 calories. So I have that, and I don't know if this is a mixture that is gonna go well or not.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good.
But like someone who was infamous on the internet once said, "Fuck it, we're doing it live."
So the Red Bull and the rum, I actually think you might be able to get away with alone.
Let me
But
try that
if you have
first.
like any sort of fruit juice, like nothing,
No, I just our alcohol game isn't on point right now because we just
same.
moved in. Like we just installed our bar. Yeah, I know we have a bar, and
Who doesn't?
some of the alcohol is finally back on the shelves, but yeah, the mixers or mixer game is not on point. All right, here we go. Malibu and Red Bull. This is probably gonna keep me up tonight, which is
Live tasting.
yeah. It doesn't give you wings. It gives you sea legs.
Gives you ulcers is what it gives you.
I don't know if that's just because it's separated. I don't have anything to stir it with. Here, let me unzip.
Did it separate?
I think so because I see yellow up top, and everybody. There we go.
Oh
That's it.
yeah,
There
there
we
you
go.
go.
Yup.
Yeah, you're gonna want to give that a stir.
I don't even have a pen.
I was literally just gonna say,
What?
you don't have a pen?
I have a knife.
There you go.
There we
Knife it
go.
up, bro. You
Thank
stabbed
God
that
I
drink.
had the little
Stab the
packet,
fuck out of that drink.
the little packet left over from the last time that I got takeout. I had to eat while working
There you
because
go. There
just
you go.
because you're working from home doesn't mean they give you time to eat.
Eat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not human.
No.
But yeah. Well, we'll see. It doesn't taste bad so far. Let's see. Yeah, it just tastes like sweeter Red Bull
Yeah.
with a pineapple twist. Man, if I could add like an actual pineapple wedge, this would be a perfect Hawaiian drink. Except the first story I want to talk about is not the bullshit because what did I expect? I moved to a place where it snows, but I just like to say that sometimes, as much as our technology has advanced, the weatherman is plain wrong.
That's the only job where you can be wrong every goddamn day and not be in any trouble.
Yeah, and so they told us, they're like, hey, it's gonna snow, and as a precaution, I decided to put on the snow tires on my vehicle. Mind you, this
Smart.
is our first winter living in snow. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I hurt my wrist a little bit again. Hence why I'm wearing this for people that can see the camera. But anyways, I put them on. The first night it snows, a nice little dusting. It was magical. And then the next night it dumps. We're talking like probably collectively 2 feet of snow. And it went from being like, oh, it's a little crisp in November to, yeah, you have to change everything about your day and how you do things. Simple things like taking the dogs out to do their business in the yard are a lot more complicated when the yard is in 1.5 to 2 feet of snow.
Yep.
Um,
Try
it's-
living in a city that rains all the time and a dog that hates the rain.
how do you manage?
She deals with it a lot. Not by choice, but she
That's
does
funny.
it.
And I understand that this is a very first world problem because I got a chance to get out of the Bay Area and landed in a place that's not too bad. I'm enjoying where I'm at, but it just kind of caught me off guard. Luckily, silly me has always had a vehicle that can handle this kind of weather. Because ever since you've known me, I've had except for that first red car, I've had all-wheel drive
Yeah.
like all the time because fuck weather. Um,
Bro.
so it's actually coming in handy a lot. All those little like weird features that I got, like what I like to call the heavenly butt warmers. But yeah, heated seats, front and back. Like I didn't even know the back had heated seats because I'm never back there. Got totally lucky. But anyways, whatever. I'm having a great time. And actually, that part of that is I've actually had a chance to sit down and play something. That wasn't,
And not just with himself.
right. This I can do in the living room with my wife. Hanging out.
Not a better sentence. Not a better sentence.
I'm not tired. It's okay. But yeah, so I've been playing Watch Dogs Legion.
Watch Dogs Legion. Got it.
Yep. Easy for me to say. And funny enough, I was going to wait to get this game when the Xbox came in, and it's coming in this week. The episode's always 1 week late, so y'all...
Yeah, as of recording, it's coming in tomorrow.
Yup. And it was going to be grand. But then my wife was trying to order something off of Target, and they were like, hey, if you add this much more, you can order this item for super cheap. And we love this seasoning, this Chipotle garlic seasoning, but they won't let you order it by itself. You have to make a minimum before they'll let you order this. So she's like, is there anything you want from Target? And I was like, ooh, I could get a game.
Yeah, I'd have a beer.
Yeah, right? So I picked up Watch Dogs Legion. Jesus. I keep trying to say Watch Dogs Legions, and that's the booze talking. Cheers to our boy Klops.
You watch the dogs get the legions. Cheers.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's how I ended up with it. It probably wasn't going to be my first choice. There's this other game. Oh God, now I'm forgetting the name of it, and I feel like it's a disservice. But there's another game I'm looking forward to. It's an indie game. It looks kind of out of nowhere. It's probably going to end up being another Bullet Witch, where I was like, this seems like a good starter for my Xbox 360. Horrible. It was so bad it was good. Like the parts, like, you remember playing that game, right?
Oh yeah, I think I played it too.
I'm pretty sure you have my copy of it.
I do not currently have Bullet Witch.
Okay. Then I got to figure out where it is, because I remember I lent it to you, and then I don't remember where it went.
Yeah, no say. But I don't sell games, so it sure as shit wasn't that.
Oh yeah, no. It was such a non-game. It was more of a, I thought I knew where it was. Now I have no idea. But anyways, Watch Dogs. Damn it. I like it. It's interesting. They changed the entire dynamic. Where have you played any of them?
No.
So think Grand Theft Auto, but instead of the focus being firearms and things like that necessarily, you have a phone that's basically magic. Think the remote control from Click, and then just take away maybe 2 power levels from that. You eventually have a phone. The lore in the game says that they have the entire city is now controlled by this thing called the CTOS, City Operating System.
Okay.
So you can hack into the CTOS hack. It's basically you have apps on your phone that let you do shit. There's no real hacking. But you can do things like in the first games, you could change the lights when someone was chasing you and they could get into accidents. You could blow up like city power mains and so on and so forth. And it's shifted throughout the games. In this game, it seems a lot less about those individual power-ups, at least in the beginning, and more about you're building this movement. So you go on all these recruiting missions, and in this one, you're almost not a real person because it's not about your character. In the other ones, you played the one main character. But in this one, you play as one of many agents, and different agents have different skills. But to recruit them, you have to do a set of missions, and the better the agent and their skills, the harder the mission is to complete to get them to come to your side, and then you get to play as them. And skills vary, but the ones that I'm rocking right now is faster hack speed, the faster download speed, and there's one more, I think. Oh, shock, where it adds the ability to shock people.
Okay.
But those are just very varying kind of skills, and so you're not really a person. You're an entity. You're almost like an AI running these human sacks that have different abilities.
So is that why I saw a commercial for the game recently that was saying it's the first game where every character is playable? If they're a person and they're in the game, they're playable.
Yeah, so basically, every character that you can select, you can, under certain circumstances, recruit. And then become them and be them. So you go around, and it's kind of creepy as well. Like, that's why I'm saying you're an AI. It's almost like you're the machines in the Matrix on this, because you walk around with these abilities to do extra shit, make doors open, whatever the fuck. But you also get to scan people, and because everyone's wearing these implants, you scan their implant, and it tells you what they're good at, and like, you're not looking at them as humans. You're looking at them as a value for what they can do for your team.
Interesting.
Right? So I will say that's probably what I found the most interesting. And maybe I'm looking into it way too much. But the actual story is you're part of DedSec, this hacker organization. And this disaster happens in London that your organization gets blamed for. And at the same time, most of your organization gets taken out. And you are the newest recruit to this hacker group, and you are one of the field agents. So that's the setup. But again, I haven't finished it. I plan on it. Veterans Day, I will be very, very inebriated.
As per usual.
Yeah, remembering all my bros and playing video games and chilling, just not doing any work shit. I'm going to probably order some really shitty food and just, generally to drink the fallen. Anyways, that's when I will finish Watch Dogs. But the most interesting bits of Watch Dogs Legion are the stories themselves. They all have the general motif of Big Brother, and they have this motif of they're always watching, look at all the freedoms and privacies that you're taking. It's almost taking a snapshot of where we are now. And taking it slightly to the extreme, the scariest part is that it's not that far away, right? The technology itself is a little bit more advanced. Their drone technology is more advanced and all that. Their smart technology, where homes are fully integrated and stuff, is also more advanced than we are, at least the centralization of it. But it is very much a near future. It's very dystopian kind of thing, and you're trying to fight against it. But yeah, I like that it made me think. I will say that it loses some points in my eyes because it's so fucking broken right now.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah.
Bad release,
and to the point where, like, I didn't buy it at launch. I bought it like 2 weeks later. I think it came out 2 weeks ago. And when I looked up the error that I was having, even worse errors were the ones that showed up on all the forums. Apparently, it's corrupting your saves. On some people,
like corrupting, like unusable,
and people are waiting for them to release a fix. So they just released a fix recently, but that didn't address that issue. So the issue I'm having is whenever I'm loading into certain missions that are that have a cutscene that it starts, it just starts going off on this, like, when your Xbox freezes and it just goes like, brrr,
yeah,
and then the app just crashes and you restart, and then the next time you go in, it's fine. And I'm obviously worried because I'm supposed to be able to upgrade when the Xbox Series X comes in, and now I don't know if they can't even figure out how to do normal saves.
I mean, maybe cross your fingers and hope that architecture is better on the
Yeah,
Series
and
X?
hopefully cloud saves are a thing because I don't want to start over. It'd be really obnoxious.
Are you in far enough that that's just like pretty much a deal breaker?
Because when it comes to these Ubisoft games, I try to do fucking everything. I am really far into the collector quests and the side quests to where I might abandon this game if I have to do that. I might just be
Yeah.
like, it's not fucking worth it. I'll read the synopsis on Wikipedia. But I like it. I like it. But those fucking glitches, god damn it, dude. To the point, and the loading times. Good God, the loading times. Like, this is horrendous.
So the reviews that I've seen, because I follow a couple guys on YouTube who've gotten review copies, so they already have their Series X in. Um, they were doing Red Dead, which I guess is supposed to have like the worst load times on the Xbox One.
Uh huh.
It's like a minute and 30 for the load times. So
Jesus.
where Red Dead was pulling a minute 30, these were pulling 30 seconds.
Wow. That's still a lot, but in comparison,
But
wow.
that's a noted change right
Yeah,
there, you know?
because I don't know if it's the Xbox One, I don't know if it's the game, but it is killing me. So
Yeah, Legion might load a little bit better on the
no shit.
new hardware.
From launching the game to actually getting into your save, at least a minute and a half, at least, because you have to load into the game. You have to. Then it tells you wait, press A. You press A, and sometimes it doesn't capture the A right. It feels like the UI there is kind of sticky or weird.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
And then there's no indication or good indication. And I have a big ass TV where sometimes it's you have to press and hold versus just press, so it gets kind of weird. Sometimes you're pressing and holding on shit, you're not, whatever. So and then you go, oh yeah, I want to start the game. It takes you to the main menu. You choose it, new game, continue, whatever. You hit continue, and then you have to choose if it's campaign or if you're trying to do some other shit. And then it finally fucking loads. So that whole process of getting through all those menus, waiting for the clunky UI,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
just
and honestly, I bet you, like, God forbid you press like menu right away or something, or anything that would require what isn't loaded immediately in front of you, because I bet you that'll stall it out even longer.
yeah, it's heinous. I feel like this is something we should have solved with the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Like these are mini fucking computers at this point.
Yeah.
My computer games, like I understand that I have a very beefy computer, but it's just obnoxious. All I gotta say, I will be very happy with the new one, the Series X, and I hope it's much faster. I'm actually thinking I'm gonna replay Control because I really love that game.
Yeah, I
Get
need
it
to
on the
give that one a
Xbox.
try.
But anyways, so if I were to give this a rating, and I just realized I talked this whole time without putting the graphic up like a douche
You
nozzle.
fool.
So put it up for a couple seconds.
Fool.
If I were to rate this, I would. God, those goddamn glitches. If it wasn't for the fucking glitches, because I'm enjoying the shit out of it. I would give it. Eh, 7.5 greasy security guards in a CCTV watching you bathe via hidden camera out of 10.
Okay. Do you think the stepped up graphics and loading performance will change that?
So I will say that I think the game was descaled, so the graphics would help. But I'm not a graphics whore, so it's pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, the fucking load times and the glitches, just the goddamn glitches. I'm hoping that on the Xbox One, they had more time to focus on the actual like game because those loading issues are they are sucking. But yeah, that is my rating. Kind of ended up kind of mad at it for a little
Alright.
bit, but I'll probably still play it afterwards.
Hey, for it being a 7 while you're mad at it, that actually speaks pretty highly to it.
Yeah, 7's not bad. 7.5. 7.5. Because so far the story is interesting, and I do want to find out what actually happened.
All right, that's not bad.
But yeah, so
Is that Ubisoft?
Ubisoft, yeah, that's the only
Look
problem.
at Ubisoft.
Everybody hates Ubisoft.
No, yeah, not surprised that the release is broken then, because they don't care.
Yeah, every game. Jesus, why do I keep coming back? Speaking of coming back, did you hear they finally announced the Legendary Edition, or I think it's Legendary Edition of Mass Effect, where it's basically all three of them HD remakes, I believe. And it's coming out 2021, I believe.
Maybe. Maybe.
I don't
might
know.
Try it.
I don't know if it's going to include Andromeda, but I will report back.
Well, as long as it actually works, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean,
But it'll probably just be 1, 2, and 3.
Probably.
And Andromeda did like really poorly, right?
Yeah, it was the worst of them.
Yeah.
I feel like Andromeda would have been a great game if it didn't have the Mass Effect name on it. Because it could have been it basically could have been the equivalent of a Halo game, where if you just go into it a little bit blind, where you have all of these people just say, hey, they're escaping a tragedy in their galaxy. Here's this game about exploration and discovering this ancient civilization. It almost plays like a season of Stargate.
Okay.
Because the story is you end up in this other galaxy, and a bunch of your other siege ships, they're not actually siege ships, I forget what they call them, but each race sent one of these ships of the major races in the galaxy, right? And they basically self-sustained colonies that could cross the gap in between galaxies, the dark space. So they show up in this galaxy and they land on a planet that they think is habitable, and they discover that there's a lot of ancient architecture, and all of a sudden they start getting attacked by...
Wait, can I just... Here's my pitch for a game, and it's so much shorter. It's all the same setup up to the point where you go, they get to a planet that they think is habitable, but then you just change one sentence. After that, it's not. And then they all die. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Game. That's the game I want to make it. Make the game.
Or get exactly to the same point that you just talked about, and then it turns into Farmville. And yes, go settle this planet.
You made it. Better grow some potatoes, bitch.
You about to die. Winters are rough here.
I like it.
But yeah, so I didn't. Again, I don't hate it, but it just, I couldn't finish it. It was a different game.
Well, you didn't even finish it. That's saying a lot, though, because you're pretty you're pretty close to getting the Mass Effect symbol tattooed on your butthole, just so it can look at itself while it pounds you.
Right? Not. I like that. I was talking about getting a Mass Effect tattoo, but probably something a little less rapey. Just putting that out there.
Maybe something not that graphic, thank you.
Yeah. I feel like I forget who it was that always wanted to get the scroll on his legs that looked like they were holding up his nuts.
Yes. There was also, it was on I think Miami Ink or one of those ones, but there was the dude who wanted Elmer Fudd pointing a shotgun at his butthole saying, "Come out, you wascally wabbit."
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Yeah, did you see? There's this meme, the worst tattoo ever, where it's basically a cat looking back at you, and its butthole is your belly button. It's like just presenting itself like cats tend to do. I was like, that's a pretty bad tattoo.
Speaking about, I just saw one. It's a similar kind of thing. It's a dude who has Brian and Stewie on his pecs, and his nipples are their penises. So it's got like a little bit of hair and then just like the nipple. I don't get it, but
well, they always alluded to that Brian and Stu were gonna end up hooking up,
which is weird.
Well, because they even made a joke about it once, where like I think they wake up like after a night of drinking naked together. So,
it's still weird.
well, to be fair, they always played with the idea that Stewie just might be gay, right? Didn't they do the
It's weird because Brian's a dog.
No, but he's not. He's a person.
No,
They-
he's not.
They always, except for like a couple of episodes where they just outright call that out, they treat him like a person. It's really weird. Cause he sleeps with women, right?
Yeah, and well, but they've called that out too because it is weird.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just going
I don't like
along
it.
with it. You don't like
I
it?
don't like it.
Huh, I'm not
I
in.
don't like it.
I'm not even gonna go. So what? You're saying if there were aliens, you wouldn't want yeah, human alien hybrids? You speciesist?
Aliens, I'm fine with. The alien's dog, I'm still not fine with. That's gonna be the worst part. Like some species is gonna come to Earth and they're gonna be here for years, and like our species will breed, and then some other species will be like, "We sent our dogs to look at this place. Like, what is wrong with you?" Sick. It's just sick.
That's kind of funny. That what was that old? I don't even remember where it's from. Where like a space traveler was like, "Oh, don't go to Earth. They'll fuck anything."
Oh yeah. It was like an old meme that went around online or whatever. But yeah, that's why aliens don't come here because those Earth fuckers will put their dicks in anything. You don't want to go there.
What was it like? There he goes. Homeboy fucked a Martian.
Well,
Oh man. Okay, the reboot. I need to rewatch it when I'm not completely baked out of my mind.
oh, Jan Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah.
Look, it's not what like I can make the case for Red State or Tusk. I really like those movies, and I think like you can sell someone on it.
Yeah, if you're into that kind
Reboot
of thing.
is just a love story for him and his fans. If you don't like Kevin Smith, this is not going to win you over. And honestly, if you're not really familiar with his work, this shouldn't be the third of his movies you watch. You
Yeah,
need to
no,
see
not at all.
most of his movies.
To be fair
before
though,
you watch this.
I feel like folks need to watch Chasing Amy first,
Yeah.
then
Mallrats.
Clerks.
You've got to no, you have to do all of them. You have to do all 5.
Well, no, but before they watch any of them, they need to watch in that order: Chasing Amy first, and then Clerks. Because if you go into it with Clerks, it sets you up for you thinking that it's just all going to be very art housey,
Sure.
and so that's a bad introduction because it loses a lot of folks.
Well, see, that's why I say do Mallrats, because Mallrats is just kind of like 90s stoner
But
film.
the
you
problem
know?
though is I feel like once you've seen any of his other movies, you never give Chasing Amy a chance, and I think that's one of his best.
I like Chasing Amy. Chasing Amy is good.
Yeah, so I really like Chasing Amy. Of course, to be fair, the first movie of his I ever saw was actually Clerks, accidentally.
Really?
Back in the days of Kazaa Light, there were only certain movies you could get, and I was like, I don't know what this movie is, whatever. And it was this black and white thing that just kind of out of nowhere. And I did not know that was a Kevin Smith film. And years later, I saw Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and I was like, wait. Oh, and right around the time, that's when I was starting to hang out with you guys, and I made the connection. So
I was actually honestly kind of expecting like it was called Il Clerco, and it was.
That's racist.
I saw it on a plane, and it was this really weirdly racist cut of Clerks.
But oh, that's funny because there was a Cazafantasmas, which is just Ghostbusters, but dubbed in Espanol.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw parts of Ghostbusters before I saw it in English in Espanol. However, I don't remember any of the verbiage in Spanish because it just doesn't match the mouth, man. It's weird.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like I can do it with anime better than I can do it with like live action movies that are in Japanese and stuff.
Especially because it's
too
always
jarring.
the same voice.
Yeah.
Like it's really interesting. For the longest time they needed a lot more voice actors that could do Spanish dubbing because it was always the same couple of people. So all the women just sounded like they put a little slightly less effort into the voice. So
I'm one girl. I'm another girl. I am a third girl.
Yeah, pretty much. So, uh, yeah, the dubbing, but that's just how you got to get media, especially if if you don't know the language.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah, no,
watching
absolutely.
Telemundo, y Univision. After all these years, it's weird that I actually still remember at least kind of parts of the actual commercials. It's weird how they stick with you.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you had kind of inspired me because you were watching things the Criterion Collection to go back and watch some of those things and watch Time Bandits, and I actually watched Brazil as well.
So two of the ones that I reviewed last week, yeah, we can get your take on them now.
So I gotta say, I don't hate them, and I understand what the elements that people like. Out of the two, I will say that I feel like Time Bandits has better jokes, like individual jokes that tend to land, but Brazil is altogether a better movie, like cohesively.
Oh sure.
I didn't dislike Time Bandits, so I watched them with my wife, and my wife liked Brazil more, but I will say that I totally understood where the motif really came out, especially in Time Bandits.
So did you explain the triptych to her?
I did, because I wanted
Okay.
her to understand how these things were related.
Yeah, well, and even Brooks. So my wife hadn't seen him before, and I think she had said, like, without understanding the triptych, she never would have gotten it. But it did give her this greater appreciation for, like, because Time Bandits has this kind of loose structure, right? But when you put it in that context of it's an experiment of looking at childhood,
Yeah.
it frames it different. It kind of gives it a different shape when you look at it that way.
Yeah, no, definitely. And
Not saying that changes, like, some of the pacing being a little bit weird and some of the dialogue being a little stilted. It doesn't fix any of that, but it just does help kind of shape it better and give it a better form,
yeah, and I will say though about Time Bandits specifically is they never really explained enough. And I get why that goes along with the motif, but it would have been easier to follow.
What did you feel needed more explanation?
Um,
I'm just curious, like what was the
more
part
like-
that, like, held you up?
more like a little bit more of the motivations, specifically like why are they all of a sudden robbing people?
Because they have the map.
I understand that's what it was, but like the map inherently, why is that the first thing they would go to? That was the question that it left me. Time Bandits.
Oh, it's not the first thing they went to. Like they said, they were on shrubs. They were building shrubs, and they got punished, and they got sent to, like, do repairs. And then while they were out doing repairs, they somewhere along the way of doing repairs started doing this.
Wait, repairs? I don't remember the repairs part.
He mentions that they're supposed to be going around and they're supposed to be fixing these holes, and instead they're doing this.
I missed that altogether. See, there you go. I thought I was paying attention. But no,
I tried, damn it.
Yeah, I didn't dislike it. I thought it was definitely interesting. Probably nothing I would watch on my own. But yeah, it was interesting. And then
Okay.
and then we watched Brazil the next night. So we watched them back to back. And I liked Brazil. Brazil was basically what felt like a Total Recall era-esque sci-fi movie. That's what it felt like. And that's probably why it spoke to you, and that's probably why to me it was also great. I will say that,
Yeah, honestly, like it's Monty Python Total Recall.
yeah, yeah, it's very, very bizarre. Um, I will say that, like, I know that some people love and others hate the end. I'm not a fan.
It's
Um,
not an ending for every. Here's what I'll give it. I like the ending because it's abrupt and sad, much like the ending to Time Bandits. Now that you've seen it, and I'm not that like we'll spoiler alert right here. The ending to Time Bandits, the movie literally ends with his parents exploding and dying.
yeah.
That's that's like the end. That's it.
To be fair, though, that makes thematically that makes sense.
The end to childhood is usually a traumatic event or just something big and abrupt that snaps you out of childhood, you
Mm-hmm.
know? That moment you cross from adolescence into adulthood is usually a heavier kind of moment.
Yes.
Just is. So that fit. With the ending of Brazil, the illusion of happiness, something taken away from you by your place of work, um, a stark and drastic change, not to your personality, but to your body and your mind, leading you into old age. I don't know. Again, thematically, I think it fit very well. They adjusted his memory. He's a little gonzo now. It's not necessarily a happy moment. But it is an ending. And again, it's not an ending because it's not the end. The end of your middle agedness is not the end. There's the next bit. There is old age. There's
Yeah, I just
more
found
work
it
to
that it
be
was
done.
maybe a little unkind to older folks, and not mostly because I feel like it's what it's portraying is that you've kind of given up by the point where you're older, right? So I just thought that it wasn't as universal.
I would not that it's not universal, but it is very bleak. It's definitely not a happy outlook.
Yeah, it's almost a
It's pessimistic.
very pessimistic, almost to the point where it didn't fit with the rest of it because for the rest of it, no matter what happened, the main character still had hope.
Yeah.
And I feel like at that point, they didn't take his hope away because they gave it to him artificially. But the reality is, there is no hope, and that's a very like,
Oh yeah,
I
no, it's definitely it's a sucker punch.
yeah, I will say, um,
But I do like that, and like, and again, you may honestly, I feel this way for like most Criterion Collection movies. I don't walk away from very many of them going, "That's my new favorite movie," but I walk away from a lot of them going, "Yeah, I understand why it's on here and why it needs to be preserved." The fundamentals it uses, or the structures, the performances, like there's lots of bits about it where you go, that's everything
yeah,
right there. Like this is the moment that put this like you can see it. You know what I mean? It's always pretty apparent why something like this makes it.
yeah. I will say I haven't watched too much of the Criterion Collection, but now I'm interested a lot more now. I don't
I
generally
think I'm gonna
like.
do. I really want to do Taxi Driver next. Robert De
Okay.
Niro. Also, am I the only one? Like, I totally want to see a whole spin-off of Brazil about Robert De Niro's character. This
Yeah,
superhero whose only like ability is he just fixes things. You
yeah.
know?
I will say he was probably one of my favorite parts. I did think that how they killed off was it a Bob Hoskin? Bob, is
Bob
that?
Hoskins. Yeah.
I thought that
I don't
was
know that
all.
he's dead.
They
I
drowned
don't
both
know that
of them
he's.
in shit.
I don't think they drown. I think it because it popped. Remember? I think it just filled him up, and then the suits popped. I don't.
Okay,
I could be wrong. I did not interpret that as his death.
I thought they did at that point.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
but
I'm gonna
I
send you a link right now, though. It's a list of all the Criterion Collection stuff. I don't think you and I should watch through all of it, but maybe you and I should make a mini Criterion Collection
I think
list.
we should and torture ourselves.
No, honestly, there's a lot of really good stuff in here. we can talk while we scan through it.
Yeah. Let's see here. So, well, if we're going to do it, let's just do a whole thing. Whoops, wrong graphic. Um, Tell us what the Criterion Collection is, Devin.
Why would I tell you what the Criterion Collection is when I can go on their website and have them tell you what the Criterion Collection is?
In other words,
So
I don't know.
no, I do, but they'll just do it better than I have it in front of me. So from the Criterion Collection website, since 1984, the Criterion Collection has been dedicated to publishing important classic and contemporary films from around the world, in editions that offer the highest technical quality and award-winning original supplements. No matter the medium, from Laserdisc to DVD and Blu-ray to streaming, Criterion has maintained its pioneering commitment to presenting each film as its maker would want it seen in state-of-the-art restorations, with special features designed to encourage repeated watching and deepen the viewer appreciation of the art of film. So they're a private collection, but basically they hand select these certain films and add them to the Criterion Collection, and basically that means no matter what the modern format is, they will make sure that there is a release of that movie in a modern format. They are a film preservation society.
How many of these movies are there?
Hundreds.
Okay, because I'm definitely like, it'd be funny to do like, hey, if there's 30 of them, and be like, yeah, let's do them. But
no. There are hundreds. There are hundreds, and that's why I think you and I should maybe make like a subset, maybe like the most famous ones that we've heard of that we've just never seen. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, first one that pops up on here, but Antichrist, that's with Willem Dafoe, and Willem Dafoe apparently just plays this horrific version of the Antichrist.
Okay.
It's supposed to be fantastic. Like that's one of the movies that really put him on the map as like someone to be aware of and not just a guy who acts.
Okay. So yeah, let's talk about this. Let's do something with Criterion. I think it'd be a fun little thing where we could do a bunch of little mini-sodes or even other things.
Yeah, I think it could be good. I'm still scrolling through, and it is a lot of international film. So, okay, here's one I've seen, but I haven't seen in years, and I'm actually willing to bet you've never seen it, and you probably should. Being John Malkovich.
Oh, I feel like, unfortunately, the parts that I saw were on like KSU 36, where they cut out half of the movie.
Yeah.
For commercials. So yeah, I wouldn't say that I have seen it.
Yeah, Being John Malkovich. Again, it's not like my favorite movie, but that movie definitely needs to be part of the collection, and it's the kind of thing you should probably just see that movie. Wow, this is surprising. The 1958 version of The Blob is in the Criterion Collection. I am personally a bigger fan of the 1980s remake.
Interesting.
1986?
Why though?
86? I just think the effects hold up really well, and the pacing's a lot better.
Okay. And
plus,
I mean,
it's
also 30
this
years
is totally
worth
a bias.
Of context too.
And this is totally a bias. I don't love like Casablanca 1930s, 40s, 50s film. It's just not my era, and it's not for me. Breakfast Club, another one on the Criterion Collection, though I'm sure you've seen Breakfast Club by this point.
I've seen Breakfast Club. I haven't seen 16 Candles.
If I'm being honest, so me and my wife went on like a whole little binge of like the John Hughes age films.
Yeah.
Did not enjoy 16 Candles. Did not enjoy Say Anything.
I haven't seen Say Anything, or I feel like I haven't seen enough of his, because I've also haven't seen what's St. Elmo's Fire. Is that another one?
We did not do St. Elmo's Fire. Maybe we should.
Yeah, so I've never seen that. Yeah, there's all kinds of film that I feel like I'm a bad film commentator because I haven't seen them.
I want you to take this moment and get ready to be validated, sir. Validated as a human right now.
Okay.
Criterion Collection. Chasing Amy.
Nice.
Chasing Amy is in the Criterion Collection.
I have been saying that for years, though. Like,
but I mean, like, here's your validation for it. Like, they chose that. They're like, no, yes, this should be preserved. This is the one. Because I guarantee you, Kevin Smith does not have 2 movies on this list. I promise you, he does not.
Is
I love Kevin
not on
Smith.
There?
Is what?
Clerks not on there?
I just entered CL. Nope, no Clerks. No, they chose Chasing Amy over Clerks.
Wow. I wonder if that's on purpose.
I don't know. I doubt it. I
Like,
honestly doubt it.
in the sense of like, not to spite him, but like they're like, well, we can only really get one film from this director.
No, there's definitely like David Fincher has
A bunch.
multiple movies in here, and yeah. No, there's others.
Fair enough. But yeah, so apparently,
I'm still scrolling through.
yeah,
There's a
no.
lot of foreign film, and I know like just you and I aren't. This isn't to shit on foreign film or anything. Just me and Eduardo are not huge foreign film guys. That we like. I think what we both liked. City of Lost Children.
Yeah,
And,
Still Lost Children. Well, I've seen Jean de Florette.
I don't think I've seen.
And
that.
then
It doesn't
the
sound familiar.
sequel, Manon. So I've seen both of those. They're French films with Gerard Depardieu. I'm butchering his name because if I try to say it again, it's gonna sound
No, it's
weird.
Gerard Depardieu. You got it.
But
Okay.
anyway, so he's in both of them. They're pretty good, but they're the type of movie I don't really prescribe to. They're slice of life, almost like Aesop's fairy tales, where it's just kind of harsh. So yeah, but those were kind of great. I will say I'm also a huge fan of Amélie.
Okay.
It's a French film. Have you seen it?
No, I know of it, but no, I have not seen it.
That's one of those where even with the captions, it's a really fun movie.
Okay.
The shots are done really well, and it's just set up. It's whimsical, but it's an adult whimsical, right? I honestly highly recommend that. You should watch Amélie.
All right. So 2 from the Criterion Collection. I think if we're gonna keep a list, you got to write it down. But I think I got 2 right here that I think should be on both of our lists because I'm willing to bet we've never seen them, and we both should for different reasons.
Okay, hold on. If we're starting a thing, I'm gonna start a thing.
Doesn't necessarily, and we can adjust lists. Maybe this will be different by the time we do it. But throwing it out there, might as well get
Yeah,
it down
I just
now,
want to
right?
write something somewhere.
Yeah, might as well get it down now.
All right. What is this? My resignation letter. Wait.
Whoops.
Yeah, all right. So what was the other one that we talked about before this?
I already forgot.
It was Antichrist.
Oh, Antichrist, yes.
And then after that,
and actually, the Bias Bros Thursdays, alternating Thursdays, Jay would actually very strongly suggest Antichrist as well.
okay, fair enough. Okay, so Antichrist. What was the next one that you said?
I'm actually pretty sure that you and I have never sat down and watched the whole thing, not
Okay.
clips, not an edited version. Enter the Dragon.
I have seen the entire fucking thing.
Have you like you sat down and watched it? I've actually never sat
Okay,
down and
so-
watched all of Enter the Dragon.
So Enter the Dragon. My father was into martial arts movies.
Really? Would
Yep.
not have pegged that.
But again, we saw them dubbed in Espanol, and then
Well, I mean, we saw them dubbed in fucking English.
yeah,
so.
exactly. And then a couple years later, another dude that my mom was dating was also super into Bruce Lee. He also did martial arts, so I saw them again when I was older, in English this time. And yeah, so I have seen Into the Dragon. Probably the last time was maybe 10 years ago, but I have seen it.
Well, okay. I think I gave you Being John Malkovich if you want to throw me into
That's
the dragon.
right, being John Malkovich. No, I would because it's been so long. I'd watch it as well.
Okay. And then
Okay.
the other one, I'm actually willing to bet you will walk away not liking it, but it's such a classic. And since I know you and I kind of have like weirdo tastes sometimes, like
Yeah.
something can just be so art house that you and I are like, oh, it's demented, it's wonderful. And people go, it doesn't make sense. And we go, yeah. That's the fucking point. Thank
Yeah.
you. David Lynch's Eraserhead. Eraserhead
Okay.
is just weird. It's
So
just weird.
here's the problem with that movie.
You're gonna have to watch it with your wife, and she's gonna have nightmares forever.
Well, that and I have seen so many in-depth reviews of Eraserhead because that's one of those movies that's such a classic that I had to learn about it without actually watching it. So I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know that I'd
same. I've
enjoy it.
heard all about it, but I've never watched it.
Yeah. I will give that a go, but then I'm gonna have to give you a movie on this collection as well because this is one of those I feel like I'd suffer through Eraserhead. It's like watching Nosferatu. I understand
enough.
its place, but it's in no way actually entertaining anymore.
So another one on the list you and I have seen. We don't need to rewatch, but like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas,
Yep.
which is also done by Terry Gilliam, by the way, the same guy who did Brazil, Time
Oh,
Bandits, and Baron
interesting.
Munchausen. It's Terry Gilliam. F is for Fake. Man, I feel like you
I
and I
don't
should
even
watch
know
it,
what
but I think
that
it's part of
is.
F is for Fake is an Orson Welles movie all about making camera tricks. So it's like a documentary, but it's also a documentary that's told from 5 different points of view, talking about 5 different things, and you're not like 100% sure how they're related until the end.
Uh-huh.
It's Orson Welles doing like an informational documentary.
Okay,
It's
it better be better than his champagne commercial.
he's less drunk during this, arguably.
I was about to say, from what I've heard, that's just not true.
Arguably. But yeah, F is for Fake is supposed to be very, very good. Still scrolling, checking some shit out. And I'm skipping lots of stuff. David Fincher on here again, The Game, and I've actually seen The Game. The Game is really good.
Don't
Game
even
is
know
all
what that
about this
is.
dude whose brother enters him into this like live action role playing game sort of thing, but before that's a real thing. And it spirals out of control. And honestly, throughout most of the movie, you're not sure if it's part of the game or if like something adjacent to the game has sort of leaked in, and now he's kind of doing two things. The game's
Hmm.
fucked up. The game's really good though.
You know what I just found out, and it surprised me? The Truman Show's not in the Criterion Collection.
That actually does not surprise me.
Really? Do you not like it?
Not that I don't like it. I just think it's a little more commercially appealing than the kind of thing that they are aiming for.
But I feel like it was not only well done, but it is very much a classic.
I don't know if I can go that far.
Really?
Bro, okay. I just made it to this one. Like Harold and Maude from 1971 is in here. That's a classic. I don't know that you can put the Truman Show up against Harold and Maude.
I've never seen Harold and Maude, so
Not even like the plays or anything.
no.
Interesting.
I okay. I don't
It's
even.
it's just a pretty classic tale. It's like The Most Dangerous Game. You may not have seen The Most Dangerous Game, but you've seen a
Oh,
version of The Most Dangerous
I've
Game.
read the original story that inspired the Most Dangerous Game.
No, Most Dangerous Game is the original one. Most Dangerous Game is the original one.
I thought it was based on this old like English story.
That's the one.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the
That
film.
is the basis for that
Okay.
running trope thing, but that one is called The Most Dangerous Game. That's the one.
Okay, fair enough.
At least as far as I have always been told. If there is one before it, like literally like my high school English class was like, no, this is the one. Ooh, okay. It's a mad world. That should probably be on our list.
I will add it. I have no idea what this is.
Oh, another one, and it's Terry. God, Terry Gilliam has so many entries on here. Have you ever seen Terry Gilliam's Jabberwocky?
No.
Oh, Jabberwocky's really good. Jabberwocky's so good.
Okay.
I remember Jabberwocky is one of the stories from Alice in Wonderland, but
Yeah.
Terry Gilliam takes that and separates it out and makes it its own story. And it's just all about Alice slaying the Jabberwocky.
Okay.
But I mean, now that you've seen his sets and stuff, imagine his practical effects and his sets doing Alice in Wonderland essentially.
Hmm.
Really good, really
Yeah.
good.
I will say that the set pieces in Brazil, while they were cool, they really did feel like Indiana Jones
Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting.
But isn't it nice to see real sets again? You know, not modified with a bunch of CG, like
Yeah.
somebody had to build fucking columns.
Yeah, I will say though, the practical effects were great. The whole dream sequence I thought was a little weird. It was just like,
Yeah.
was he lobotomized the whole time?
But
Right.
that's the question you're supposed to be asking yourself.
Yeah, fair
You know,
enough.
you're on the right track.
I
But
guess
that
I
track
got
is
it.
not.
Sorry.
Why don't you go ahead and start playing us out? I apologize to everybody that we're just like live making this very exhaustive list.
I don't apologize because this is what we do. And check us out every Monday, 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific on In 5D Podcasts on the YouTubes. Also,
YouTubes.
we publish iTunes. What is it? Every Tuesday and every Thursday we have Bias Bros coming out. Every other Thursday, Bias Bros. Wow, I'm ruining everything.
Everything.
Tuesday nights, check me out streaming with some of the other guys from Metagame at twitch.tv/Metagame Network.
For the record, Mothra vs. Godzilla is in the Criterion Collection.
I mean, cultural value, probably. Yeah, I get it.
It's one of the best ones.
Yeah. And on that note, final words, Bonsai?
I was really hoping that like a good movie would pop up right when you asked me that, but one didn't. I got nothing.
Yep.
I got nothing. Oh, you want a surprising one? I thought at least the Korean would have shown up. Old Boy, not in the Criterion Collection.
Oh.
I would have thought that the original Old Boy would have showed up because Old Boy's fucking dope.
Well, I mean, do they have Battle Royale?
No.
See, it's a different type of movie.
Maybe you and I should choose. I bet because there's a hold on. What's the we're going into slight overtime. Okay. Bye.
Bye.